So I think you'd agree that cameras are getting really, really good. Like even the cameras on your phone are just so incredible these days that it leads you to wonder like what is next for all these different companies? Like how do you keep improving quality when we've made such incredible leaps? And then it kind of feels like, I don't want to say a standstill because innovation keeps getting better and better, but like what do you do next? See, I look at a camera like this, the Sony FX3, which was released 5 years ago now, which is crazy. I have 5 of these cameras, and I also have an A7S III, and I also have an FX6, which I'm filming on now. You see, there's one side of me that says this camera's been out for 5 years. Why are they not coming out with something new? But then the other side of me says we've filmed thousands and thousands of hours worth of content for my video production company, Scaling Creative, using nothing but these cameras, and they still look unbelievably good. The quality is outstanding. The autofocus is incredible. The slow-mo is so good. The in-body image stabilization is so good. Our lenses paired with it are so good. The quality is still outstanding. And a bunch of other companies, since the FX3 and the A7S III came out, and even the FX6, which was 6 years ago, 7 years ago, all the other companies have come out with other cameras, newer models of cameras. And Sony has kind of done nothing. The A7S III, the FX3, the whole FX series line of cameras has kind of just remained. So I started to think to myself, if a new FX3 comes out soon, what are the things that I would love to see from it? And what things do I think actually will come out? Because that's always an entirely different story. But I know realistically they're not all going to come out at the same time or at all. I absolutely love this camera. I still love filming with it. I still think it feels amazing in the hand to use. The quality is just ridiculously good still. Autofocus is as good as it gets. Low light is so good. The camera really is just spectacular. And it's why we haven't really been enticed at all to purchase anything new from any other camera company because, well, this does the job that we like and it does it exceptionally well. But if I could name 3 or 4 things that I would love to see them improve and I had a say in design, here are the 4 things I think they could maybe do better that to me would make it just ridiculous. First thing first, let's get a better monitor on the FX3. The FX3 not only has a very small monitor, but it's not super good quality. And when you have a camera that is this good and everything looks this good when you import it into your computer, it really would be nice if we could get a bigger screen on this thing that is a higher quality that really represents what we're actually seeing when we import the footage. Going alongside of improving that, I know that if I ask for a bigger monitor, most likely they have to do something different to make that monitor fit. I actually think it would be great if they made this camera a little bit bigger for a couple of reasons. First of all, I don't mind a bigger camera because I actually think some of the bigger cameras are more ergonomically easier to hold. Things like the Canon C70, for example, or my FX6 or something that has a bigger body, I think makes it even more comfortable to hold. And when you have a bigger body, you can do things differently in the camera that I think would be welcomed additions. The monitor being one. The second thing being, maybe give us a little bit of a bigger battery. The FX6, for example, can get 4, 5, 6 hours worth of shooting depending on what type of battery you're using on it. So if you made the body a little bit bigger on the FX3 Mark II and you gave us maybe double the capacity battery in some form, maybe just different design or whatever it is, and we could get 2, 3, 4 hours worth of shooting on one battery, that would be tremendous as well. Most of the time when I charge this, I'm just using it all the time, plugged it directly into USB-C with a power bank, so it lasts essentially forever anyway. But if you got to make the camera bigger, that's okay. Just give us a little bit more battery life. And while you're at it, if you're going to make the camera a little bit bigger, I think you probably are going to have room for, let's just say, something like an internal ND filter like you have on the FX6. Now, this is one of those things I don't think is actually going to be added because they have the FX6 and the FX9 and all the things that are kind of on a different level than the FX3. But if the FX3 is sitting in what they call the cinema line, I think it would be great if all the cinema line cameras would have an internal ND filter. That would be great. I don't think it's going to come, but if you had to ask me what I'd love, that would be one of them. From a quality perspective, of course, you could say, well, let's make it 8K for sure, maybe 4K, 240 frames a second. That's all great. I think that's a given. The next models I absolutely think will have 8K and probably up to 60 frames a second. They also probably will have 4K, 240 or whatever. Maybe they're gonna have 960 frames per second, 1080, who knows? I'm not a huge slow-mo guy myself, so I don't really care that much about that, but the 8K would be great because it does allow me to crop in on, my video in post-production, which is useful. I do that all the time with 4K, and it's useful to kind of give you another perspective, almost a different camera angle to clear up cuts, which is great. Now, one thing I'd absolutely love to see them add, and hopefully they will, is give me that 32-bit float raw audio, because that would be amazing to be able to have the confidence to record stuff all the time and never worry about whether or not that audio is peaking. All my external audio recorders that I use now have 32-bit float, and once you have 32-bit float, it's so hard to use something that doesn't, because you just know that you can kind of fix it no matter what, even if the levels peak, and that is an amazing feature. If that was built into the camera as well, that would be tremendous, because then you have even more peace of mind to be able to fix anything no matter what happened in the recording. So that would be sweet, and I think that might come. The next thing that would be cool to see if they could add, if they are making the camera a little bit bigger, is potentially making even better in-body image stabilization. Now, I think that in-body image stabilization on the FX3 is actually outstanding. We use it all the time, and literally when I have it off, it's crazy to realize just how shaky I am. The IBIS is already amazing, but if you can make it even better and literally just allow me to kind of potentially turn on a mode where I can walk kind of like an action camera and get outstanding stabilization, even if it means you have to crop in like crazy to the image, that would be pretty sweet as well. Now, obviously, yes, you can do some of this in post, and when you mix it with the in-body image stabilization already on the FX3, you can get some pretty outstanding footage even when you're moving. But even better option, if I had it in there, I'd be all for it. And the last thing to me that would be nice, because I do have this feature on the FX6, and once again, I think if you just kept the cinema line the same, is give me that cache recording as an option on the FX3 Mark II. If you don't know what cache recording is, it essentially allows you that when you have the setting on, it will always be recording essentially 10 or up to 30 seconds, I believe, before you press record, in case you suddenly forgot to press record or something good happens and you realize you weren't ready for it to happen. If you basically have the camera on, it is essentially always recording, and then once you hit record, it actually starts the file in your preset amount of time in advance, up to 30 seconds, and then you can capture what you potentially missed. That's a really useful feature depending on the type of work that you're shooting, because it is nice having that peace of mind that if you are doing work like I do, where you're filming maybe more of documentary style or following around a speaker who's having conversations with people, sometimes you suddenly realize it's a good part of a conversation and you want to record it, and so you can just hit record and know that it didn't miss any of the action, while not just wasting all your SD card space just recording in case something happens. Really, really nice feature. Most people don't even know it exists, but when you actually have it, it's really nice to use, and I'd be all for that on this portable little camera as well. But besides that, I just think that we're at an interesting spot. It feels like we made such incredible leaps and bounds from when we went from the DSLR revolution to these new Sony cameras to what's coming out from Canon and Nikon and all that, that the cameras are all so good that now it's like, what can you do to make it even better? Like, why hasn't Sony come out with anything in the last 5 or 6 years? I'm hoping that the answer is they're kind of watching what everyone's doing, realizing their cameras still compete with everything else that's still coming out already, and hopefully they're doing some incredible things behind the scene, whether it's through the use of AI in some way on these cameras to be able to make even better image quality, even better results in post. Who knows? Are they looking to make an even better autofocus system? I don't know what takes them so long. I mean, they're doing so well with all these cameras over all the years. Maybe they're just kind of like, hey, let's see how long we can milk this thing. But I gotta believe a company like Sony has something up their sleeve. Who knows though? I mean, it's been a long time since they've released anything, and it just seems like they're the last company to come out with it. Are they going to come out with something and we're all going to be like, what did we wait so long for? Or are they going to come out with something and be like, wow, this is truly game changing. All the other companies now feel like they're left in the dust. Because when the A7S III came out, it was such an incredible camera. The low light was mind-blowing on all the Sony cameras, and no one could compete at all. The FX3 continued that, and they're just ridiculously good cameras. But what's coming next? When are we gonna see another release from Sony? I'd love to know your thoughts if you currently have an FX3 or an A7S III or an FX6, something Sony that is 5, 6, 7 years old. What would you like to personally see in the next generation of these cameras? And do you think they're actually gonna come out anytime soon? And what do you think is gonna be in there? So comment below, would love to know your thoughts.